Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can grow your own personal agriculture experience. So first of all, how many people were involved in FFA or 4-H? Alright, so good majority, if not all of you. So how do you think that has shaped your experience? Like, Allie Jo, tell me about how your experience was with a youth organization.
Oh, well, I definitely met some of my best friends, through it, and definitely pushed me to do a lot more than I would have if I wasn't in it.
Okay. How did it affect your outlook on agriculture, Jenna?
My outlook on agriculture.
It honestly opened my eyes up to more of just than like the farming aspect since I've grown up like on the traditional standpoint. Being able to see the vast majority of everything that's within the agriculture industry other than just farming.
Right. So that's right there. What you both have said is pretty much the point of my research and my lesson today. So I'm kind of going to be talking to you about how your participation in 4-H and FFA ultimately probably led you to pick the College of Agriculture and then in turn will actually develop a career for you in agriculture. And so since we're all in the College of Ag, we're all ag ed majors, it's kind of going to have similarities because we're all relatively the same on this point. So my objectives are at the end of this lesson, you all will be able to identify the factors of, my contacts are bad. Identify the key factors of success of agriculture programs, so youth development programs, and how the demographics really stand out. Statistics are the best way to really get people in and have a good knowledge in a quick way without you doing complete research on the topic. You'll also be connecting past knowledge and experience that you all have with those organizations to how it's going to shape your future career and obviously the trend. When I say agriculture trend, I mean we're all here in this class in the College of Ag, so we all have something in common with that. Also, you'll understand your student position in the College of Agriculture by engaging conversation of individualized interest and relating it back to youth development experience. So taking everything you've learned back here in college and how your participation in FFA or 4-H has really shaped you into your college career now. So it's plain and simple. There are 3 groups, one goal, agriculture. You've got FFA, 4-H, and then in the long run, University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. It's going to be different if you go to Mississippi State. You may have 4-H and FFA or a different organization and then have Mississippi Agriculture. It's going to be different, but there's all one common goal, and that's agriculture. So your basis, your opinion on it, your passion, and that's going to be your own. You're not going to be able to say, Jenna's passion for agriculture and her love to do things is the exact same as Brenlin's, and you're all not going to have the same interest or you're not going to have the same career approach. While we're all in the same major, you're going to have different interests and you're going to want to take those different ways. So today we're going to talk about how everything kind of comes together. So you're going to draw a lot of connections and probably things that you didn't think about. So first of all, you need to get some background on the knowledge. So I have some information about FFA and 4-H, just kind of statistics like you would see that are like their big picture numbers. So there are 629,367 FFA members in the United States. That's 7,757 chapters in all 50 states, which includes Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. There are also 11,000 FFA advisors and ag teachers along with that number. So the 11,000 ultimately produced the 629,000, which in the long run, the big picture is FFA, National FFA gives out over $36 million in scholarship. So you can already see in the very beginning of your FFA career that they're investing in your future. You know that there's going to be scholarships ready for you. They want you to go succeed, if that be in the College of Nursing or something. You're taking your leadership experience and your responsibility that you've learned through FFA and continuing that on to your college career. So they're taking that investment in you by putting those scholarships there for you. Next, 4-H. There is 6 million total participants nationwide in national 4-H. Texas is the largest state for 4-H participation as well as FFA participation, so Texas has got it going on. Kentucky is actually the second largest 4-H program in the nation, so that's kind of a fun fact. There's also 562,000 adult volunteers that assist in those children. So that'll be going to 4-H camp, helping out with leadership opportunities, leadership conferences, project days, arts and crafts. There's all kinds of different ways that you can get involved in not just 4-H, but FFA. You're each going to have those individualized experiences like your SAEs, and it's your own way to make agriculture your own personal experience. There are also 110 public universities that either support cooperative extension or are complete withholders of extension. So for example, Kentucky has an extension office in every single county. So there are 120 extension offices, which means that ultimately those extension offices are reaching every child in their county, which will mean when we have full participation in our state, which is pretty cool. That's also an example of how they're taking an investment in your higher education. They also have scholarships available, but it's they're actually wanting you to continue a 4-H career through collegiate 4-H and such, like FFA does, Ag Ed Society and stuff like that. They're still continuing that step for you. You want to keep going in those programs. So how does this all come together? How does it matter if you were in 4-H or FFA? Why did that prompt you to pick a career? So the research basis about what we're talking about is that you're going to want to go to a college and go into a program that you're comfortable with. My mom is a nurse, and I am not a medical person. I could not just up and go into the medical field because one, I don't like blood and guts, and I don't like giving shots. So I would never pick going into the medical field because I have no interest in it. So based off of your involvement in those youth organizations and the way you grew up with that, you're going to want to pick something you're comfortable with. And with those, there's a common goal, agriculture. So you're going to take that passion for agriculture and pick a major through that. For me, just a little background, I grew up on a beef cattle farm, but I was never really interested in it. I would help my dad if he needed me, but I was more focused on schoolwork and outside community things. But I never really took an interest in it, and I think that kind of upset my dad. So I actually, when I was a 4-H state officer, and a couple of months before that, I made a pact to myself that I was going to take myself out of my comfort zone. So I was going to do all kinds of things that I didn't usually do, but I was going to learn how to do. So I started handling the livestock more. I started asking my dad more questions. I went to the market with him. It was a really, really great experience, and I suddenly grew this passion for agriculture, which it took me a little later than a lot of people, because a lot of times when you get involved in FFA or 4-H, you have your own experience and you be able to grow that agriculture experience through those organizations. So I got mine a little later, and so I was not originally agriculture education. I was community and leadership development, and then after my year of completely stepping out of my comfort zone, I told my mom that I was ready to switch my major, and she was like, okay, what to, nursing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, agriculture education. And she was like, why, what? You never had an interest in this. And it just blooms on you so quickly, and it's something that you dive in head first with. So I think that that was a really great opportunity for me, and I got to meet with Dr. Vincent, and he told me all about things, and I was like, this is definitely the major for me. And a lot of times that's what happens when you're involved in the youth organizations. So you'll have the little moments. A lot of times it'll just be something small, like you're working at a community event, and you get to interact with a lot of people, and you're like, this is something I just really, really have a passion for. So you take that passion and you make it your career. My dad always told me, I want you to go to college and do something you absolutely love. And so that is ultimately what 4-H and FFA want you to do. They want you to go out and do something you're super passionate about. So vocational agriculture instructors, which are Ag Ed teachers, FFA advisors, and extension personnel, so people involved, anyway involved with FFA and 4-H, were among the reasons cited for students' decisions to enroll in a college of agriculture. So that is the number one reason why students said that they would want to go into college of agriculture. So a lot of times I could say, well, Jenna, why do you want to be an ag teacher?
Oh, I actually don't want
Do you, have you found inspiration from your ag teacher?
to. Yes.
Okay, so they kind of prompted you to want to do this, and they probably pushed you a little bit towards the major? Right. So you're going to get that little help along the way, a lot of times with your extension agents or your ag teachers, because they want what's best for you, and oftentimes they can see something inside of you that you may not see at the time. So these are my resources and sorry, you can see the bottom one there. But I hope that you all learned a little bit today about drawing connections. Sometimes it's hard for us to step back and see the bigger picture. So just keep in mind when whatever career field that you all go into, make sure it's one that you're passionate about and one that you're really happy with. And obviously your experience in the youth organizations is going to lead you to a career in agriculture, obviously since you're in this major. And it's really going to stick with you, that passion, so make sure you always do something that is going to motivate you to do more and be more out of your comfort zone so you can learn more things.